Okay. Hi, I'm Tony Black, and welcome to Living Out Loud. In this video series, we are talking about ways to unshackle your potential, unleash your passion, and become your own hero. And a lot of us I know are going through a transformation of sorts as we're watching this video series. And it takes knowing truth about ourselves in order to get through that transformation. And in that process, we end up finding the inner hero within us. As we're on our journey, it really is important for us to realize that passion is key, and finding our passions is essential. And also throughout this whole process, you're going to end up finding your own potential. So today's guest is the amazing health and happiness guide, Marcie Peters. She is here to help us through all of that. Marcie Peters, CHHC, is a liberation nutritionist and age-backward mentor. Marcie liberates amazing people from self-sabotage to heal your body, reignite happiness, and have soul freedom. Marcie is the best-selling author of Not Broken, her personal story of incurable chronic illness, available on Amazon and on her website. Marcie is a founder of the Health and Happiness Guide and the Cutting Edge Convention. Marcie is a featured speaker, sharing the stage with other influential thought leaders. Marcie's website is www.thehealthandhappinessguide.com, and you can take the True Age quiz there. So welcome, Marcie, and I would love for you to tell us how you became a worldwide influencer.
Hi, everyone. So good to have you here. Yay. Okay, so I actually didn't start out trying to be a coach, an author, a speaker, a motivational person. And that's where I ended up, because when I was in my early 20s, I got really, really sick, and it came out of the blue. I was, doing well in life and doing life, moving up in my career and figuring things out. And after a flu shot, I ended up getting really sick and not recovering. And the weeks turned into months, and the months turned into years. And it ended up being over a decade and a half of this journey, which I am now, very grateful for. But at the time, it was really hard and really dark. And there were a lot of moments I didn't want to continue. And I found my way through, and because of that journey and because of my own experience and what I learned along the way, I'm now able to make a difference for others who are looking for that same level of transformation, are looking for to turn things around with their health, their bodies, and that soul freedom, which is just so amazing.
Ah, that's fabulous. Wonderful. So I would like to talk a little bit about your book, Not Broken. And I want to discuss your hero's quest. And I'm going to read a quote from it. Speaking up and being true to my inner wisdom long enough to create boundaries didn't come easily to me, but it was the first step to creating new possibilities. The decision to stand up for myself was like a new untried muscle, weak at first, needing repetition and practice. I would love for you to elaborate a little bit more on how you tapped into your inner wisdom, as well as the role that setting boundaries played for you in rising up to meet your own personal power.
Yeah, inner wisdom or intuition, those terms can either be used, and that was a really big piece for me. And I think honestly, it's a big piece for all of us as we go through our own journeys in life, to really allow ourselves the space to hear what our bodies are telling us, that wisdom, as well as what our souls are telling us, our highest self. And so I was so busy, and as a type A overachiever, just rushing from place to place, and really focused on the external, the achievements, the results, the goals, these sorts of things, and forgetting all about this whole thing that's going on inside, which is a feedback mechanism, right? Our bodies are a feedback loop of, communicating with us all the time through aches and pains, through symptoms, through stiffness, soreness, every little thing is a communication. And so really letting myself tune into that was really, really important, and continues and will always be important. Rather than ruling it out, tuning it out, disassociating myself from my body. That was a big thing because I was in pain all the time. I didn't want to feel that, and there's physical pain and emotional pain, and most of the time the two go hand in hand. And letting ourselves actually feel what's happening and actually be present to that is really, really important. It's the opposite of what, seems like the thing to do. It's counterintuitive to let yourself feel the pain more fully, to let yourself cry, to have that release and not hold it in. But when you hold things in, it's going to cause more problems and it's going to build up. So that was a big piece. And then boundaries was also a big piece, and being willing to say no, and being willing to face possibly not being liked, or my story I had about if I said no, I wouldn't be liked.
Oh, I'm just like, there's so much juice in that. I love it. I'm thinking also, I've noticed for myself, it's really important to dive into the emotions and the pain. And oftentimes, I'll notice that if I'm going through some sort of emotional struggle, all of a sudden I've got these mysterious aches and pains. And I'm like, wow,
Yeah. Or your energy plummets and you're like, why do I feel like I just want to go to bed for the rest of the day?
Mm-hmm.
And there's more going on and maybe you need to hydrate, maybe you need some good nutrition, and there's usually more to it than that.
Absolutely. Yeah. And even there can be stuff that goes way back too. That's got to be healed, I know, too.
Yeah. And so I want to say that with the emotional releases and creating that space for yourself, that's so important. One trap that we can fall into, and we've all done this, and I've done this, is staying stuck in the emotion because we wrap the story around the emotion. And so that keeps us stuck when we can just let ourselves feel pure emotion and not attach a story, or not even have to have a reason why we're crying or laughing or whatever it is, yelling. Then we can just let the emotion pass through us. And it's beautiful, and it doesn't take very long usually. So I do this in meditation. Meditation is a really important practice to me, and that's how I create the space of the stillness and the silence and the just being with myself and tuning into my body and being present in the moment. And that's often when the feelings have the space to communicate and to be heard, and then to be released. So just letting it go without having to know why. And sometimes I know why, but usually I don't. And that's perfect, because it's like I'm dusting the house and taking those layers off, as they accumulate, rather than letting them accumulate.
Right. That's part of that intuition piece, diving into that whatever is happening and just kind of letting it be, noticing it, acknowledging it, making peace with it, shaking hands with it.
Yeah. I mean, the space that we can choose to create is for all of that.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Wonderful. So one thing that I love about what you do is how you interweave aspects of whole wellness for the sake of feeling good no matter what age. And I'd love for you to talk a little bit about your background with that.
Yeah. So I call it aging backward, where you can get better, stronger, wiser, and have your life just get more and more amazing as you get older. And you don't have to subscribe to the traditional thinking around aging, where, things are going to start breaking down and getting worse. It's like, no, that does not have to be your reality. And I firmly believe that. I feel better now in my 40s than I did in my 20s and 30s. Of course, I was struggling with chronic illness. However, just letting yourself be open to new ideas, because we get to choose our beliefs. This idea of getting stronger and better with age is really important, and because we're all going to age, we're all going to get older. So choose how you want it to be.
And I think it's amazing. I'm like, you say you're in your 40s, and I'm like, what? There's no way. You're in your 20s,
Yeah, I'm 45.
What? All right, man, I got to give you a call. No.
We'll talk.
Wonderful. So this leads to your free gift. I would love for you to talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah. So it's exactly in alignment with that. It's called How to Age Backwards: 7 Ways to Get Better with Age, and it's a $27 value. And because all of you have tuned into this amazing event, you get to access that book, and you can download it right away and take a look at it.
Fabulous. That's so awesome. I think I've got another question for you. So we're all gifted. We are all gifted some pretty amazing superhero powers. What are some other ways that we can reveal the power that is within us and then use it to move forward toward our own purpose?
Yeah, I love talking about superpowers because we do have superpowers. That is the absolute truth. And we don't always recognize it or realize it or tap into it and utilize it. So the first superpower we have is the power of personal responsibility, taking responsibility for our experience of life, taking responsibility for what's showing up, because what shows up externally is a reflection of your internal landscape. So without blaming yourself and without, like, it's just responsibility. It's not blame and it's not guilt or shame. It's just, okay, I am responsible for what is showing up. I am also responsible for how I'm showing up. And so that's the superpower of choice. I get to choose how I respond to any situation, any person. I get to choose to be in love or fear. I get to choose how I am going to present myself and what's important to me. So there's all these choices. So responsibility, the power of choice, making everything a choice, right? So I get to work out today. I get to take care of myself. I get to eat healthy. I get to set myself up for success, and I get to honor and love myself and make decisions and behaviors that show that I'm honoring and loving myself, not just say it, like back it up with my words, being in integrity with myself. So those are all choices. And then the power of focus. What are you choosing to focus on? Are you focusing on what you do not have and what is not working in your life? Or are you choosing to focus on all the things that are working, all the amazing blessings and gifts that you have in your life, and focusing on growing those and growing in gratitude and choosing joy in your life? So yeah, responsibility, focus, and choice for sure are superpowers.
Awesome. I'm writing that down right now too. and I love that a little. I want to backtrack just a little bit, and I think you mentioned something about just kind of keeping it fresh, and approaching things with a beginner's mind. That's always going to keep you young as well, and that's
every moment is a chance for a fresh opportunity, is a chance to choose to not live out of your past and keep recreating the past, which is the tendency. And if we're not aware, that's what will happen. Well, this happened in my past relationship. And so without realizing it, you're bringing it into this relationship because you're thinking about it, perhaps talking about it, focusing on it. And instead of bringing the past into our present and future, just choose that you're going to create a new future, and it may have nothing to do with the old future, and that's okay, because we can create whatever we want for ourselves.
Yeah, start with right here, right now, get grounded, figure out where you're at. That's awesome.
Yeah, just because I showed up that way in the past, or just because people in my life showed up that way in the past, doesn't mean that has to keep happening.
Right. Cut off that story. Wonderful.
Start thinking that we are our bodies and we are the identity that we self-created without realizing we were self-creating it. And it's partially the environment in our past too. And we start thinking that's who we are. And it's not. You're not your body. You're not your past, and you're not your story, and you're not your identity. Cool, right?
That reminds me of, I think that it was Rumi. I'm not this, I can't remember the exact quote, but it was, I'm not this skin, I'm not this hair, I'm the soul that lives within. So that's, yeah.
You're the
so much better than I did.
Yeah, you're the infinite light, and the essence of love.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you are. That's what I am. That's what we all are. We're a piece of God.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's beautiful. Thank you so much. That is wonderful. So is there anything that you would like to leave us with today before we go?
Yeah, one thing that I do like to mention, thanks for asking, is that no matter what is going on in your life, and I was really at a point where I wanted to give up and wanted to just throw in the towel, and I and no matter what is going on, it is never too late. You can always choose to turn things around, and it just starts with a choice, and it just starts with a commitment, and starting to make different decisions, have different thoughts, and just be open to possibility. Just open to possibility.
Mm.
And then see what shows up for you, and see what opportunities you can start to take action on, and how you can believe in yourself. And it's amazing. Life really does give us what we need. It's happening for us, not to us. I really believe that.
Absolutely. Perfect. This has been so much fun. Thank you so much, Marcie.
Thank you for having this amazing event. I appreciate it.
I'm really glad we did. I know I'm like, whoa, I just watched that Oprah speech. So I'm like, what? Ready to go, you know?
Yeah. Life is amazing.
I think so too. Thank you so much. And I also want to thank our audience for taking the time today and moving forward toward unleashing their own awesomeness and their own superpower abilities. And don't forget to check out all of the other interviews in the Living Out Loud series. And until then, keep living out loud.